Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tefty.
And I'm Meems.
Today we are looking at the Digitakt and showing you our process of how we actually make songs with the Digitakt. In the previous video, the MPC one versus Digitakt, there was a few people asking about like exactly how does that work, since we've made a couple records so far with the Digitakt. So we basically produced, wrote, and arranged on the Digitakt and then finished it in Ableton for those records. And we wanted to show what that process is like with Digitakt, right?
Make something up. See how that goes?
Okay, so first with the setup, there is more than the Digitakt on the table. We've got the Digitakt, we've got the Digitone, we got a Behringer Model D, and we have a Minilogue XD, the module version, desktop module version. And obviously we have the Arturia key step. I have the Arturia key step routed into the Digitakt, and then the out of the Digitakt has a splitter on it that goes to the Digitone and the Behringer Model D. The reason I do it that way is because I want the bass, which is the Model D, I almost always have the Model D, to be as tight or as close to the original clock as possible when chaining MIDI. So that's one of the reasons right there, and that's also why you want to have splitters for your gear, because the further down the line when chaining MIDI devices, the more lag gets introduced. So anything that is timing specific, like bass, you're gonna want earlier in the chain than later. If it's a pad or something that's kind of like effect, flowy type of stuff, you can put it later in the chain, it's gonna be fine, just as long as it's not like arpeggiated or rhythmic specific type of stuff.
So no lag.
Yeah, so you want to reduce the lag of things that are important for your timing, right? Yeah. Out of the MIDI through of the Digitone is the Minilogue XD, and the Minilogue for me is most likely going to be a pad. So I did kind of preset this up thinking that way. So in terms of instrumentation and how this works, a good way of setting up the Digitakt, if you want to use it more than just drums and you want to actually use pitched samples, is to have like the first four as percussion. So we got kick, snare, hats, and some sort of percussion type of thing right there. Your percussion or your rhythmic instruments tend to go really good on the first four if you are going to do some tonal stuff later on. You just have to ignore the names on here. And then I've got some other stuff in here. What's this? Some samples. Pretty sure I took these off the Summit and the Pro 3. You know, very specific things. Oh, this definitely came off the Pro 3. So that's how the Digitakt audio channels are routed. I have the Model D on 9, or MIDI A, and then I have the Minilogue on 11. Now you might be wondering why not just put them right together or something like that? The reason is the way we typically work with the Digitakt is it's one pattern. And I know you can chain multiple patterns, but I think what's interesting about working with Digitakt is relying on the mutes to make arrangements happen, even though it might just be one pattern. In the past, like we have actually done stuff with multiple patterns on there, but typically when we do a Digitakt song, we're already thinking, all right, we're gonna make like a 4-bar groove and then bring stuff in and out as it goes. And your melody usually rises and
and falls.
Yeah, you know? So the Digitakt, it's nice focusing on just like that 4-bar loop right there. Now if we were doing a song that was more complex, like let's say 16-bar verse that had multiple changes of chords, and then like a random 6-bar lift into then like a 12-bar chorus, I wouldn't use the Digitakt. Like if you want to do a song in 6/8, like I know you can work with the timing to make it 6/8.
I asked if we could do. Like, do you think we can do that?
Typically, I'm going to rely on Ableton or maybe the MPC one to do that. But usually, if I'm going to do a song in 6/8, I'm going to go to Ableton Live for that. Almost always, it's like, it's a 4-bar groove in 4/4. And that's okay. I accept those limitations because we can still make music that way and it's fun. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, back to the MIDI stuff. So what I do is I have the bass on 9, or on MIDI A, and then usually chordal type of stuff on 11. And then what I do is if I want a change in the bass for the chorus, I can always set it up to where it's on 9 and 10. So like 9 can be the verse, and then 10 can be chorus bass. So like initially, you could have like, something like that. But then for the chorus, it could be like, so you can change it up that way. I don't always use it that way. With the Digitakt, it gives you the ability to make arrangements out of just a 4-bar loop, assuming you have the MIDI space. Like if you do have 8 MIDI instruments hooked up here, then obviously you can't do that because each track is then taken up already. But if you just have, say, like a couple instruments, then you could reserve a few of these MIDI tracks to be able to do that extra stuff. I also always keep 16 as the auto channel for other Electron devices. So if you're unaware of how Electron devices work, there's usually an auto channel. Like right now I am on, I believe, channel 10. And channel 10 is the auto channel, so whatever track I have selected on here will play. And that's because this is on channel 10. Now if I think if I go channel 1 on here, yeah, see, I selected channel 1 on the key step and now it's playing track 1 on here. If I go track 4, if I go track 8, and so on. So if you go track 10, which is what the auto channel is set up in here, you can change that in the settings if you need to. Then it goes to whatever you're playing, which is great because now I can go to these MIDI tracks and play like that. So when you chain Electron boxes and you want to use one MIDI controller to then send out to all those, what you typically do is set up an auto channel. Or you could do, let's say you have the analog rhythm and the analog 4. You could say analog rhythm right here, analog 4 right here, and then Digitone right here. And they could all be different auto channels, which you can set up in devices. So quick tip right there in case somebody's been struggling out there and been like, what the hell, I have to unplug this every time I want to do some stuff. You can actually set it up so the Digitakt sends all that. You just have to be aware of what auto channels are what on the devices and have them communicate properly like that. Okay, so moving on. So yeah, with the Digitone, I do have some stuff set up on here. Let's see, this is track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4. All right, so that's the setup and that's what we're working with. Now let's go through the process. Normally, when we start out, it's harmony, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so like chords
Trying
or
to
something.
figure it out. I don't know. I think it's something you just play and then inspiration comes out.
What key should we play in?
Is it a minor day?
Probably. It's
always a minor day. I always lean towards that.
Let's go E flat minor.
And you're going to the okay. I don't rain no sun no light me, 'cause I fall. I think the E no day no.
Oh, okay,
Kinda like
okay,
that.
yeah, let's do that.
Oh, me out there. How about that? I don't like to know.
And then you could go.
Silent because my little low.
Oops.
Oh.
Okay. So we got.
How about we try that? His silence goes on really bold. Pause like in tired, everything is going down.
Okay. Let me.
Something like that.
Let me get the tempo here.
That
so.
I think it's the B, the B
Yeah.
flat.
All right. So that tempo is roughly 68 and a half. Let's go 69. Nice. I usually quantize this stuff because it needs a little love. I usually don't 100% quantize everything unless it's something specific. Like if I have like hats that need to be like right on the grid. I usually try to keep some humanistic feel in things. But one thing for sure is the drop, the downbeat, or I mean the first one that comes in. Always make sure it's on the grid. If it's behind the grid like this, then it won't play the first time it comes through. So we gotta watch out about that. So anyways, we got this. I'm gonna adjust the sound a bit too. So chord-wise, we have E flat minor to B flat major to I believe C flat major. Yeah, I think so, and then G flat major. So that's the general chord structure right there. Now, what we usually do is bring in some percussion, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
So
need a little bit of the beat.
yeah, we need like a kick or something, right? And I'm not really. Let's see. Let's play with it a bit. Let's throw some hats in first. Go like this. 2 and 4.
I like that.
So it's basic right now, but you guys get the idea. In fact, this kick, let's make this 2 bars, and on the second bar, we'll do light. Let's see how that feels.
That feels good.
That works. Now let's go back to these hats. I'm gonna make them 2 bars on the hats. And these, we're gonna do some retrigs on. I should really put dynamics in those too. The hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. I don't know if I would put that in there or not. Cool, so let's go bass now.
My favorite.
So at this point, so we have chord structure. You're already starting a melody, right? Chord structure, melody, some percussion. Now it's time for a bass line of some sort.
Bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Bum 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 bum. I like that. Bum bum.
Yeah, something like that. I missed one of the things in the middle there, but it's okay. Cool, so I'm going to quantize this up a bit. So while this is happening, I'm usually like tweaking with sounds and messing with it to where it starts to feel like it locks in. Because right now the bass is a little too abrasive, and also this is a little too staticky right now. It's not quite given, or the Minilogue pad is not quite given the effect that I'm looking for. So I might actually end up replacing the Minilogue pad later on. But let's move on. In fact, right now we can start like muting stuff just to see. So now it's just the bass and the percussion.
That's cool.
Right?
The harmony, right?
So yeah, I'm not quite feeling where I had the chord structure on the Minilogue, but that's okay. So I muted it for now, as you can see. And for those that don't know, on the Digitakt, all you do is you hold function, and you can go, you can switch between global mutes, which is green, and then pattern mutes, which is, it'll remember the last mutes type it had, the last mutes it had when it goes back to the pattern. I almost never use pattern mutes. I know some people love pattern mutes, and if you're going to string together like 32 patterns, then you definitely need pattern mutes to be able to have some intricate changes. But for us, what we typically do is I just stick with global mutes, because then I know that if these 4 are muted, then the main percussion is always going to be muted no matter what pattern I go to. And same thing with like 9 and 10, or if I have all these muted, then for sure the chords and bass are going to be muted on whatever pattern that I'm going at. So if you create kind of a structure or a thought of how something's going to work with Digitakt, then that gives you a streamlined method of every pattern you go to. Like if 1 and 2 are muted, then the snare and kick is always going to be muted when you go to that pattern. So that's one way of looking at it. We are currently now working on the Digitone, and I think the Digitone could have better harmony implications. So we're working with E flat minor here. Let me just play with it. That's really cool. I like that a lot. I'm gonna record that. we've got some ideas cooking now, right? Like that's a part that could be either verse or chorus type of energy. So what I'm gonna do is add some other stuff here. Could do this. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna go to these. This is a chord. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm gonna have to replace this sample. Yeah, this needs to be replaced. It sounds really cool by itself, but it needs to be something else. So this sound, I really like where you're doing that melody. It's got some flavor.
Talky talks. Sing talk.
Little sing talk flavor. So this sample right here that's loaded up, I'm not 100% sold on it, but it's adding certain energy to the track that's kind of working, you know? So I'm kind of just trying to sync it in. What's the reverb at? Reverb is pretty long already. Like normally I'd kind of just verb this thing out. Like it's already got some verb in there, but sometimes you just want it to be like whoosh.
Whoosh energy.
Yeah. So I'm setting this back in the track right now. Oh, hold on, I need to fix this. See, it didn't trigger in the very beginning because I was late. There we go. This is, I think, a Pro 3 sample, I think. What is it? 26. Never mind, it's a Summit. This was a sample from the Summit. I think it was like trying to sound like a tom or something. And it turned into this little synth plucky thing. I think it's really cool. It has like a retro vibe to it. Okay, I'm gonna record that.
I don't know what this life is, and know it like it's raining down. Hey, maybe things are lighting down, and I don't know if falling is stalling and came in and don't on. He's numbing in the tazy, reeling in the darting down, but I don't know what falling down.
Okay, so we got that. We got this metallic thing. What's this? I almost want to copy this sound for another one. In fact, I might. So in order to copy a track, if you don't know, you have track right here and then the actual audio track you want to copy. So you hold it and then you press copy. And it says track 6 sound copied. Now I'm going to hold 7 and say paste. Track 7 sound. Let's adjust the sound a bit. Oh, this one needs some verb.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, now we're talking. Ooh, yeah. So, in fact, check this out. Let's take out the drums.
That's a statement there. I'm drowning out, feeling like I didn't know what I sighed. Baby, it's going high. I don't know if I'm falling now, falling down now, you waiting. That's cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. What's this?
Little light deep inside it, it got me by the dirty leg.
we currently have everything except for number 4. Let me just riff off of it. I'm gonna like quantize this 100%. Yeah. So next thing, also, I'd like these hats to stand out just a bit more. Yeah, that's cool. So back to the Minilogue, since that's been muted for most of the time right now.
The Minilogue has been kind of out in the corner.
Yeah, it's been ignored. So maybe let's find a different sound. What's in the beginning?
I like that.
Right?
It's just kind of it gives atmosphere.
Yeah. Let's adjust the sound.
Filling it out.
Right? Cool. This is, I think this is gonna work. Let me see what this digital oscillator sounds like. Change that.
I'm going out.
Going to space. That's better. There we go, space. So this one, I do still want it to just be pads on here. I think, anyways. So what I'm gonna do is program this in. So now I can just hold a note down and play it and go to the next measure. Now let's take off everything except bass in this.
That's cool. So you're programming the harmony into here, and then you get to.
Yeah, right? And now, like, let's bring in some of these plugs.
Nice. That is really cool. Yeah, that's fun.
We're already starting to kind of run away with ideas here. So as you guys can see so far, with the Digitakt, we have all 8 voices of the sampler voices being used right now. And we have 2 tracks currently with the bass and the Minilogue. And I'm probably just going to keep them that way for this particular setup. We are only using 1 voice of the Digitone at the moment. So that could potentially be something else. So we have this right now. Which is kind of on the abrasive side. Yeah, we're gonna give this a little more, make this a little more gentle. So it can kind of be like a, I don't know, maybe an intro or something. Alright. So we have that. What else do we have on here?
Love that.
Yeah, I wonder if that's gonna be too clashy in the middle of like the track. Cause I'm thinking like something for a chorus. So. We got a little sparkly thingy going on right there.
Yeah.
That kind of has. Ooh, I always like this lead. Then affect it.
This is not for like the chorus. This is a section of the verses.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking like different pieces. It's already feeling pretty full.
I think so. So it gives movement.
Let me try it. I think that's
I like
working,
that
right?
movement there.
Yeah,
I
think so, yeah. Yeah,
Added to it.
Right? Yeah. Obviously, we could go on and on and on and keep on sculpting
And on and on.
and on and on and on. But one thing that I wanted to show in this process is what we do after we have something that's feeling like
Yeah,
right?
for vibing with it, for sure.
Exactly. So typically, what would happen is we would track this into Ableton. So as you can see, we have Ableton, completely fresh project that's loaded up here. And what I would do is set up all the tracks to be able to multi-track. So I'm going to do that real quick. So we always have memes. Usually I have a template set up for this, but I want to show you guys just straight up. Okay, so I have all the tracks currently set up now in Ableton. We got memes, mic. We've got the Digitakt, Digitone, the Model D, and the Minilogue XD. That's enough to capture this for the initial like vibe.
Inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why we do it this way is because you'd probably want to write some lyrics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you wouldn't want to like have this all completely two-tracked and not be able to mess with it ever again. If you're doing strictly instrumental music, then you could totally do just a straight two bus capture. In fact, I forgot to grab that too. So I always grab the mix off the board. I call it the 2-track. Also, let's put it to the BPM, which is currently 69. So then we hit record. I'm gonna clap so I can sync this. In case anybody's wondering, that's actually how we sync all the cameras up. We clap. All right, so everything should be recording now. Let's do Jim. How do we want to start it out?
I'm gonna let it just play out
Okay.
for a couple measures and then.
Maybe I should have this arpeggio.
And give me a quick verb. Bum 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 bum. Yeah.
Cool. So I'll do that one melodic line, and I'll bring in the Minilogue super low. So again, this is how we would approach just tracking it to potentially work on it later.
So it's more of a scratch track here,
Yeah, kind of.
at least for the vocal stuff.
Yeah, yep.
You told me something like betting on his starting bound. He don't know what I decide. Maybe if it not it out. He's coming, calling light, and I don't make it golden on. He don't know the satellite, and maybe if it morning light, more the light. He around, he be satellite down. Lullaby, don't you cry tonight. He has got a lot about giving round. He this time, he be body again. Just a hit of it, let it die. Carry me a lot of the radio. Something but a better little lady. He coming out the sky, and maybe even rolling down. Maybe this is going round. Maybe if it's going round, and tell me I don't know if I really say. You know the better they say way. You know the better just no way. I don't mind, even when it's gone aside. Make me cry. Lullaby, lullaby tonight. He is going on the rain. Deep is found, deep is out, deep is out again. It's all you say. If anybody to stay, if everybody to let it down. He goes out, he gonna down, he let it burn, let it burn. He told us how to put it down. You know.
Kind of working it out in my mind, like
Yeah,
where's
yeah.
it gonna go? And I think that's the first round of it
Yeah, exactly.
for
Right?
a lead.
Well, I think that's what's so cool about working in this process is
Mm-hmm.
that whole thing of us, like, we don't know where the arrangement's gonna go.
No.
We're just like freestyling it, basically, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I'll have this and then go back to it if I feel inspired to. Yeah, let's go move forward with it and fine tune
Yeah, exactly.
themes and things.
So we've definitely accelerated this process in this video. We've been recording for about hour, 13 minutes or so. So in like a very condensed amount of time, we're showing you this process. Usually this takes a day or two of like refinement, and we throw out ideas, bring other stuff in. You might even like write a little bit of lyrics, bring in.
Sure. And
So
or
you gotta
maybe
have it, yeah.
change the whole thing, or maybe change what
Yeah.
I think is the hook. So
Yeah, exactly. You might have like variations of the hook. But this is to show you guys like the process of what it's like to take an idea, use the Digitakt, start sculpting things around it, and then show a potential arrangement. Because that's one potential arrangement that we could do, that we just recorded right there. We could do another one. In fact, usually what we do is like take 3 takes, right?
yeah, it's something completely different, or maybe similar to maybe the first round of it, the first take on it.
And that's another reason why I usually load up Overbridge and record all the stuff individually for these tracks. When doing this, in the past we didn't, and I just accepted that some things were going to be mixed into each other in ways that I wouldn't be able to change. But with Overbridge, I can now actually break all that stuff into individual tracks in Ableton, which I think is great because I definitely like to get my hands on the stuff and mix it later. Because when I'm in the middle of creating, I'm in creating mind and I'm not in mixing mind. Creating mind, you make different decisions. It's nice to be able to record it and then approach it for a mix later on. So yeah, that's our process. In a nutshell.
Kind of on the spot-ish.
Yeah. This actually, it kind of felt like an on-the-spot video.
Yeah. Using the Digitakt.
Yeah, Digitakt on the spot almost, right? Fun stepping through the process and showing you guys how we work. And again, with the Digitakt, it comes out really quick when you're working on ideas, and that's one of the things I like about the electronic gear. The biggest thing is like being able to arrange on the fly with the whole mutes. One thing I didn't mention also is that when you mute stuff on the electronic gear, you're not doing audio mutes, you're doing MIDI mutes. So whatever is playing in the audio will finish out, and that kind of creates natural arrangements. So it's not like you're just muting an audio channel in a mixer or something like that. You're actually letting the MIDI play out, or you're letting the last bits of the MIDI and the reverb tails and all that play out in the middle of those arrangements. And that's, I think that's kind of, that helps make it feel more organic as opposed to just straight up audio loops that are stopping and starting in a grid. All right, before the video gets way too long, we better end it here, right?
Before we go on and on.
Yeah, before we go on and on. So I just want to say thank you so much for the support. It's really humbling.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, we
It's
really,
been great.
really appreciate all the support, guys. If you leave us a comment, we always read them. Hitting the like button, subbing to the channel, and ringing the bell is next level support. So we always appreciate that. And if you want to go even further, you can always stream our stuff on Spotify. Just search Tefty Meems. You can also go to Bandcamp, and you can also
hit the Instagram and Facebook.
Yep.
All those social medias.
The Gram, the Facebook, Twitter, all that. Search Tefty Memes. You'll find us on there. And thanks for going on the journey with us on this stuff. We really enjoy it. We enjoy making these videos.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Until next time.
Deuces.
Deuces.